boy.
Hello guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Joyful, and if it's your first time coming to this channel, welcome. And please comment, like, share, and subscribe. And if you are a returning subscriber, thank you for coming back. Yes, please like, comment, and share my video. So in today's video, I'm going to be interviewing my friend Precious. She just graduated her MSW, Masters in Social Work. And I'm going to be talking about some social work ins and out, misconception, and everything about. So if you want to know about social work, please stay tuned to the end of this video. So yes, Precious, please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Precious Jacqueline, MSW. I just graduated and studied with my master's in social work, like you said, and I'm excited.
Yes, so let's get this interview going. I have some few questions that I wrote down in this book. So if you see me looking in this book, basically I'm looking at the questions that I'm going to ask her. Yes, so let me just open this book. Yes, so Precious, so why you decided to become a social worker?
Originally I picked social work because I was trying to, so I came here as an international student like she did, and then I was trying to find something to do. So after doing accounting and management for like almost 3 years, I wanted to do something in the human services field. Something that was more emotional, like my personality, something that went in the direction of helping people, understanding people, and working with people. So after working with a guidance counselor, I figured out human services is what I actually started with. I figured out something in the social work field was going to be for me. And then I was really interested in like understanding domestic violence, working with women and children and stuff like that. So social work was just the right fit. Like, yes. It was the best fit to do what I wanted to do with myself.
Yes, that's true because it fits your personality.
Yeah.
You're a people's person.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the next question is, what is the misconception about social work?
So the most common one that I hear is mostly people think that social workers, all they do is come into homes, take people with kids, or you think that as a social worker you're not going to make money, or they try to put it in a box almost. And a lot of people don't know there's different things, there are different places you can work as a social worker. Yes, you can work with children, you can work with older adults, you can work in hospice, you can work in a hospital, you can even work in the government, you can work as a lobbyist. Like there's so many different directions, and you can even get like a social work clinical license and do therapy, which is I did the clinical track, so I'm a clinical social worker, and do therapy with people. So there's a lot of different ways that you can go, and there's a lot of different things you can do with your degree. So it just depends on who you are, what interests you. Like I said, social worker is like a people's field. So what interests you, what you're passionate about, because the work is hard and you're gonna get burnt out. So you want to do something that's gonna make you feel good when you get home. Yeah, something that makes you feel fulfilled.
Yes.
So so that's the common misconception, that as a social worker you can only do one thing and only make one type of money.
Yes.
But that's not really true.
That's true. Honestly, I had that same misconception.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, every time I saw somebody doing sociology, I thought, okay, that's social work. Yeah. And I just like put them in this box, like you don't make money, like all you do is like actually, but getting to know Precious or being with Precious, going through this journey, now I kind of understand like the importance of social work. You know?
Yeah. So like in the field too, if you're because I'm an undergrad social worker and I'm a graduate social worker. Yes. So a lot of the graduate social workers aren't undergrad social workers, so they don't have a BSW but they have an MSW.
Yes.
On the master's level, you can do one of each. You can be a clinical social worker, or you can be a macro social worker, which is like more advocacy and lobbying and stuff like that. But in the undergrad programs, we learn to be a generalist social worker. So yes, you have to be all around. Like no matter who you are, if you meet a client, you have to look at them from like a person and environment perspective, which is like who they are, where they come from, yes, where they're going, how their mental health is. So I'm both. So I'm a generalist social worker and then I'm a clinical social worker.
Yes.
So that's, you know, it's the general
Yes. 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 So the third question says, what part of social work you would love to like shine light on that you feel like people don't talk about, like?
The part of social worker that people don't talk about a lot, I think, is social workers doing mental health work. Social workers who provide therapy, clinical social workers who, work with people with mental health issues, work with people with trauma, people who do sexual assault counseling, grief counseling, mental health counseling, all that stuff. A lot of people don't know that social workers do that.
The thing is psychologists.
Yes. But no, so actually a lot of the people actually doing therapy and providing therapy most times is licensed clinical social workers.
Yes.
So if as a social worker you can, so now I'm an MSW, I have to do a test to get my licensed social worker. So that's just the general license that you get for you to be able to work. And then you can do something called a licensed clinical social worker. Yes. After you get the first license, you can get another license. So that's basically saying that you have enough clinical experience to provide one-on-one and group therapy to people. So you can open your own practice, like the same way doctors can open their own practice. Wow. You can have clients. You're a clinician, basically. So you cannot prescribe medications, but you can discuss medications with your clients. Like, you have to learn what the medications are, what they're for. So basically functioning as what people would think a typical psychologist will function as. But the only difference is you cannot prescribe medication. So we actually, as a clinical social worker, I actually got trained to sit with people and provide one-on-one therapy with people. So even in my master's level internship, I did group therapy and all that stuff. So people don't think about that. If I said, oh, I work in the mental health field as a social worker, they don't understand, what do you do in the mental health field as a social worker? But yeah,
it's a lot you guys do.
There's a lot you can do.
Yeah. So what are like some pros and some cons of social work? Give me like 2 pros and then 2 cons of social work.
So definitely one of the biggest pros of social work is the satisfaction in the work. Wow. You work with so many clients, and a lot of people think, a lot of people generally might think that this person is a drug addict, or this person is this and they're never going to change. This person is poor because it's their fault. They didn't work as hard as me. I'm here and they're there. They're not working as hard. But as social workers, we look at it from what brought that person to the place where they're at. Why are they behaving this way? What are the societal influences? What are the discrimination issues, racial issues, and stuff like that? So one thing about social work is you feel fulfilled, even if you have one client that changed one thing about themselves, or one client that say, oh, thank you, like, I really enjoy talking to you. Is that fulfillment and that internal happiness is the best thing about being a social worker. One of the cons is emotional work. You have to be emotionally intelligent. You have to be able to deal with your own emotions. You have to be able to process. You have to do self-care. Because sitting with people talking every day about their trauma, talking to people who, no matter what field of social work you work in, you always meet people who have been sexually assaulted, people who have been raped as a child, people who going through grief issues, drug and alcohol issues. So just living through other people's trauma, because we have to be able to experience those things for our clients. So living through other people's trauma, hearing other people's trauma every single day can play on your own mental health, and it starts to, it starts to become a part of you. Yes. So that's definitely one of the negatives, but then, which is why in social work we have something called clinical supervision. As a social worker, if you work as a social worker, once a week at least, you have to meet with another social worker, talk to them about your cases, your problems, your issues, whatever, because they know that it's going to play on your mental health. Yes. So that's definitely, but then we're always like overworked. So it's hard for you to even get that supervision. So that's one of the cons. Yeah. That you're gonna probably take on some people's trauma.
And probably can take it home and put that anger on like people you love at home.
Yeah, which is why how did I forget this term? We have something called transferring and counter-transferring. So basically this is saying counter-transferring is when if you're a therapist as a social worker, or if you're just working with a client and you see yourself going home and you're constantly thinking about that person, constantly thinking about what they went through. You're seeing it all over, like you just can't get it off your mind, and it's affecting the way you work with that person. One of the social work values is if they reach to that point, to refer the client out to another person. So never let your own internal, or your own triggers and your own feelings about that person issue to affect the type of service that you give them.
Yes.
So that's another big thing.
Yes.
That we learn.
Yes. I said two, but we'll just go with one, just for the sake. Another question is, what is your day-to-day like as a social worker?
So it depends on what you're doing, right? So let's say before I was a sexual assault advocate, because at that time I was a generalist social worker.
Yes.
One of my days would be anything. It could be, it's wild. It could be I go to work. In the morning, I check my calendar. I see what I have to do. What clients I have to give a call back. It could be anything from staying on the phone and counseling someone, talking to them about, their sexual, like whatever sexual trauma they went through, sexual harassment, rape, or I could be going to court with the client or advocate with them.
Wow. Like a lawyer.
Yeah, no. So lawyers are more there to argue the case. Social workers is there for support. So yes. I sit with the victim. Maybe we prepare them to give their victim impact statement. We help them write that. Or it could be me going to the hospital with a rape victim. Anything from standing outside of the room while they get the rape exam, or from being inside the room and holding their hands while they get through the exam, telling them what the exam is, where they can get sexual assault testing, sexually transmitted disease testing,
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Or in my new role as a mental health social worker, I go to work in the morning. I could have 10 psychosocial assessments, which is like sitting with the client, getting to know them. Like psychosocial means, biopsychosocial means what's their biological history, what's their psychological history, what's their social history, what are the different factors in their life that's affecting why they're in a mental health hospital.
Yes.
Or it could be sitting with one client for 3 hours and just talking to them about their day and what's going on and like what happened in the past. It could be anything. Or I could spend my day like trying to find, if the person's getting discharged, trying to find where that person's going to get food, where they're going to live, where they're going to go for outpatient counseling so they don't end up back in the hospital. So it could be anything like that. Or I could be doing group therapy.
Yes.
So, yes. Yeah.
That's good. And what advice will you give current social work students or incoming social work
people
yes.
who are bringing into the field? One advice I'll give is advocate for yourself. Because coming to the social work field, you're doing your undergrad, you're doing the courses, you're seeing you're starting to learn for the first time what you can do as a person, how you can change another person, how you can impact another person's life, and that's very exciting.
Yes.
You want to do it, you're going all in 100%. You want to help. Basically, that's what all social workers want to do. We want to help, we want to make a change, we want to make life better for people around us, for our clients. One advice I would give is advocate for yourself, because you want to do those things, yes. right? And you want to give all you got. You want to use all your skills that you learned, but you don't want people to take advantage of you. You don't want clients to take advantage of you. You don't want agencies that you're going to work for to take advantage of you, because you want to help and you want to work. You don't want them to underpay you. You don't want them to overwork you. So always be able to speak out. If you feel like you're working too much and it's taking a toll on you, speak out and say, this is too much, I need another social worker here. Because most times they will only hire one social worker when the job is really for 3 people to do. So always advocate for yourself. Always put your mental health first, because if you're good, most likely the job you do will be good, and ultimately yes. your clients will be good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a good one. And the next question is, give me like 2 jobs that people didn't know. Like you already answered, but just re-elaborate. 2 jobs that people didn't know social worker do.
So say a place like where we're from, like Liberia, or maybe like a smaller town or something. Social workers do needs assessments, and what a needs assessment is, we go in, instead of saying, you know how people come in and like, these people need this and this amount of money, or they need like 10 bags, like how the charities will just go and try to give stuff to the people in the community.
Yes.
Social workers will actually go in and do what a needs assessment is. We go in, we ask the community, what do you need, what do you think will better you, before advocating for money to help those people. We want to hear from the clients, we want to hear from the people in that area what they think they're going to need. So social workers actually get paid to do that. So it could be, it doesn't have to be like charity work or go into a community and ask the community what they need. You could go to different agencies. So say where you work, if the employers are complaining they're not being satisfied with the job environment, or social worker could come and find out from the employees, what do you need for you to be more effective?
Yes.
And do that needs assessment. And then when they find out what the employees need, they tell the head of the company and they try to implement those. They help the company implement those programs. So social workers is good at getting the people, asking them, what do you think is going to help you change? What do you think is going to help you do better, work better, live better? So that's one job. Another one is social workers could be lobbyists. What a lobbyist is somebody that go in and try to change laws, change policies. So when I was just doing not even my undergrad, but my AA, my instructor always used to take us like up on the hill in Harrisburg. We'll go there and advocate for them to change some of the laws that affect our clients, because we work with the most vulnerable populations. We work with people who are in poverty, people who have like an intersection of just different type of stuff coming together, making them to be the most discriminated, the most vulnerable in society. So as social workers, we have to advocate. So we have, like, you know how if somebody try to change like the SNAP laws for people who get special assistance for food and stuff, social workers will come together and advocate to change that. And that's some social workers' job. Their entire job is advocating to change laws for the vulnerable. So
okay, so you guys do needs assessment, and you guys do like lobbying, which is like changing laws for
So for you to do jobs like that, you have to be, you can't be a clinical social worker, you have to be a macro level social worker. So it's the one with the MA. So you're more focused on changing laws, changing systems, changing political environment for people, and you're not so much focused on one person, but you're making change on a broader level. Versus if you're a clinical social worker, you're focusing on making individual change.
Okay. So the next question is, what is your, upon this graduation, because you graduated yesterday, so what is your next step in this career?
Most likely get my license in social work, so I'm actually working on that.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, that would be the one thing that I want to do.
Is that a feature for a PhD?
I don't know.
Okay. So the next question is, how is it like being an international student and studying like social work?
It's very unique. I'll say you bring a very unique perspective to the class in general, whatever class you're in. You have, I mean, social workers are people who are supposed to be open-minded. They're supposed to not not subscribe to stereotypes in society. So it was really fun sitting in class with people I never, like, other people had to worry about one of my social work friends treating me different because of where I was from. Like, never. I got really lucky. So it was a very unique experience versus when I just took like general classes where I was in class with other people, where you have to deal with people thinking like you don't know enough or you're not on the same level as them educationally. I never had to experience that in my social work classes.
Okay.
So that was a really good thing. And then also, like, yeah, just like I said, my contribution to the class from a completely different perspective than what my classmates may have. So
yes, I was thinking about, because I knew, like, you were saying something, you have to change policy and those kind of thing. So I was thinking, like, Precious is from Liberia and she's studying in the US. So that means you have to learn, like, the US laws and some in-depth thing. So I was feeling like, compared to Americans who live here, who are studying social work, you have to do, like, extra work. Like, you have to study harder than them. You have to do your research more than them. It's like, so
sometimes there's some, you know, like tiny little basic things that you just wouldn't know because you're not from here, like culturally, socially. But for the most part, it wasn't as hard. Like, we had to, for every social work program has a social welfare policy class on the master's level, on the undergrad level that we have to take. So just like you said, just learning about different policies, learning about different laws. They didn't like that class, but you know, it was fun to like know the local politicians, what they do, what they're changing, how they're helping.
Yeah. So what advice will you give international students who are coming to this country and want to study social work as a career?
It's a really good field. Just, you know, like I said, as a social worker, you have to be open. So if you come from a culture where this happens, or certain lifestyles aren't as accepted as the way it is in the US, you have to know, as a social worker, you separate your own cultural values and your own personal values from what you're going to project on your clients. Because the number one thing we want when we sit in a room with a client is to be completely open,
judgment-free.
Judgment free zone. Very accepting, very understanding, very like, I'm here with you to understand you as a unique person, versus like coming in the room with your own like projections on the clients about what your culture thinks, or I've walked in a room with so many different people from so many different backgrounds, because as a social worker, that's what you're going to see. You're going to see people from different places. Like, don't bring in those stereotypes with you. Like, leave them behind and just like sit with the person, be open. You're going to work with people from so many different cultures, so many different backgrounds, so just be open to seeing anything and meeting anything. And
yes. So yes, I'm done asking Precious 10 questions. I just want to take this time to congratulate Precious on her accomplishment. Precious is a hard-working, smart lady. She's just graduated at the age of 22 years. And she's literally going to get her PhD, guys, but not yet. But Precious like graduated from high school at 15, right? 15. So she's a hard worker. She came to the US to study alone, without no parent, nothing. So it could be difficult, because the fact that she has free will to do anything in this country, but she chose to be on the right path, go to school, be a good lady in this environment. Basically, I'm very proud of Precious. Precious went to high school together, went to lower school together, and Precious have been somebody in my life for a long time. She's like a sister to me right now. So I'm very proud of her to see. Yeah, so if I have any social work questions or anything, I'm going through trauma, anything, I'm going to definitely be with Precious. And if you guys have like questions for Precious, please leave it in the comments. She's going to answer any questions that you have. She's really passionate about social work. You can tell, like, I'm telling you guys this. So make sure you ask a question. Make sure you share this video with everybody who want to be part of the social work team and this kind of thing. So yeah, so thank you guys for watching this video. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share this video. I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you, Precious, for coming to share your knowledge with us. So yes, bye guys.